Jenna, what is that sound we're hearing?
That sound is the sound of American exceptionalism.
And how did you, I guess we should introduce you. You're Jenna Haig?
I am Jenna Haig. I'm running for state rep in District 96.
And what does District 96, what cities does it encompass?
So it's Coral Springs.
American exceptionalism.
So District 96 is Coral Springs, Tamarack, and Sunrise, the western portions.
All right, and you decided to get involved in the political arena for what reason?
I did. So I started volunteering grassroots a few years ago. I was not very politically engaged, but I felt like I wanted to do something. So I started knocking doors, things like that. And I actually volunteered with the Trump campaign. And then as I was getting more involved, I decided I should do something. So I sat back and I took a look at all of the different seats and decided that I was going to throw my hat in for state representative.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. I'm one of those people who I appreciate you doing this because I know what it takes. And, you know, we're taught like there's 3 branches of the government, but we have forgotten. Thanks, you know, you're bringing it back though. The first branch of the government is we the people, and we have a responsibility to be involved, to be educated, and to go out there and do our part so that the other 3 branches fall in line.
Absolutely.
Because it was always supposed to be we the people were the first branch of the government, was supposed to be understood, and somehow along the line we either got soft, we weren't paying attention, and all of a sudden wonderful people like you have been woken up and saying, look, hey, I'm the first branch of the government, I need to be educated, I need to be involved. And, you know, for example, I know we're changing educational commissioners right now. We're going from Richard Corcoran
to Florida Senator Manny Diaz. He actually was just confirmed. I was in Tallahassee this week for his confirmation hearing. And, you know, it's amazing because you see all of this stuff in the media about how divided Florida is, and that's really not the truth, because when I went for that confirmation hearing, there was not 1 ounce of opposition in the room for Senator Manny Diaz to be appointed to that position. There wasn't 1 email, 1 phone call, and there wasn't 1 person there that spoke out against that appointment.
Well, what I've always noticed is, you know, we the people are truly united.
Yes.
And we want what's best for our children. Our parents want what's best for our children. And I know you've also been to some of the school board meetings, and you were there to represent yourself as a parent. Were you welcomed when you went there?
No. So I, you know, as a mom of 2,
I hear American exceptionalism flying by again.
I do. I think soon the Thunderbirds are going to come by, so we may get that shortly. I wasn't really welcomed, and as a mom of 2 young children, my youngest is not in school yet, but my oldest is in 5th grade. And I think it's so important as parents to be involved in this. So I showed up to school board meetings and I spoke out against things. And actually, even after I pulled my daughter out, I put her in charter school. I still showed up to school board meetings because it's so important, and there are so many children in this county that don't have a voice. They don't have somebody that is speaking for them. That as a citizen in Broward, I felt like whether my child was still in Broward County Public School or in charter school, it didn't matter. These things are still very important, and we need to show up and speak out and show our support for things as well.
It comes back to the first branch of government is we the people.
Absolutely.
And when people like you, parents, get involved, it's a positive outcome.
Yes.
And there isn't this separation, there isn't this division that the community hears about. There is a strong commitment to getting things fixed. So, for example, our students graduate with an employable skill set.
Yes. It's so important because, you know, we're talking a lot right now in the news about the taxpayers essentially paying off student loan debt. And, you know, I have student loan debt, and I took that on knowing I was going to be responsible for it. But it's also so important that we provide our students with the opportunity to see what all is out there and that they understand all of these things. when they're graduating high school, because it's not just a switch that flips that all of a sudden, okay, you're an adult and that's it, hands off. We really need to guide our students to know that there are tons of schools for technical education. You can go and you can be a plumber, a mechanic, a truck driver. You can also go to a 2-year college, a 4-year college. There's all these opportunities, but there's also all of these opportunities to do things that are not going to saddle you with tons of debt.
The other thing is, 2 things. You're married to a veteran, is that correct?
I am. My husband's a Marine, yes.
So without people like your husband and the gentlemen, ladies that are flying these jets behind us, there's no way we would have the freedom that we have in this country.
No, I mean, so I was here yesterday and today, and we have had such diversity. People from all over that were here, and all over, that is one of the amazing things about America. And it's important that we show our support for all of the men and women that are out and protecting our freedom, because America is the place that everybody wants to come to because of the American dream. You can come here and you can build a life like nowhere else in the world.
Well, 3 of my favorite immigrants right now, obviously Elon Musk,
yes,
Enes Kanter, and Dragos Princiana. I mean, they came over here and they found the American dream right in our backyard where we grew up here.
Right.
They figured it out. So this is still where everybody wants to be. There's only one country with a dream named after it, and that is the American dream. And Elon Musk, Enes Kanter, and Dragos Princiana have really taken hold of that, and they're enjoying the benefits of their labor.
Absolutely. I mean, the American dream is built off of hard work. It's not, people think like, oh, it's just handed to you and that's why these people have the things that they have, but that's not true. It's really hard work, perseverance, and dedication, determination to build the life that you want for yourself, your family, your children, and generations that come after you.
Well, you sound like a freedom-loving American.
I am.
And And thanks to our great governor, Ron DeSantis, we have freedom. We're able to meet like this today and have these conversations. And you mentioned about the students having choices and learning things. I think recently he made a mandate that financial literacy has to be taught in high school.
Yes, which is so important. We talk about reading, writing, and math, science. Those are all extremely important, but financial literacy is very, very important because you turn 18 years old and all of a sudden now all of those things that you do will follow you for the rest of your life. So,
like student loans.
Right, student loans, taxes, credit cards, how to balance a checkbook, all of these things that are not taught in school, and now they are because of what our great governor has made sure is happening.
And the other thing is, from talking with you, it sounds like you are already representing your voters and your constituents, because I heard you talk about Tallahassee and Manny Diaz and Richard Corcoran and our great governor, and you've been going to Tallahassee, so you're already actually fulfilling the obligation for the people you want to represent.
I am. So I've always been of the mindset when I decided to run that I'm not going to wait to be elected to do things. You can be a part of the process every day. So I'm not waiting until I get elected to go and speak out and to be a part of that process in Tallahassee. So I have been to Tallahassee probably 10 times over the past year, because when bills come up that are important, there's always an opportunity for the community to go and speak in support or against. There's committee meetings that go on, and it's important that we're a part of that. So I started from day one doing that. I'm not waiting to be elected to be a part of things.
Well, what are the cities that you represent, and what's some of the issues that you're hearing from the people? Because I know you're door knocking and that kind of stuff. So when you're out in, what are the cities and what are the issues that you're hearing?
So we go from West Sunrise, which is actually where I live, and then Tamarack and Coral Springs. And we have been door knocking a lot. And a lot of constituents actually are talking about our education system. So in Broward, and the opportunity to expand school choice, which I'm a huge proponent of. I think school choice is amazing. My oldest is in charter. We have done private, public, and charter. My youngest is going to be homeschooled, and as a parent, having those choices is amazing. We hear a lot about having small businesses and promoting those small businesses, having legislation so that it's less burdensome for a small business to get off the ground. And I truly believe that, we don't need to give a handout to anybody from the state, but it's great to be able to give small businesses a hand up, because when these small businesses can get started and they're part of our community, they give back to the community, and that's what America was founded on, is that small business dream.
And here comes some more American exceptionalism.
Yes.
One of the best ways to build wealth and pass it down to the next generation is through small business.
Yes, absolutely. And the other thing I've heard a lot about, at least in Sunrise, is talking about the Everglades. They want to make sure that we're preserving those things because, believe it or not, it has a lot to do with our tourism dollars, our water, things like that. And families want to know that the economy in Florida is going to be stable. So we have had a great year. They just want to know that that's going to continue, and that is one of the things that I'm definitely going to make sure that continues when I'm elected.
Well, this may be a difficult question, but value added. Ron DeSantis, what value has he added as the governor to the state of Florida?
So I think it's not a hard question. The legislature is the one that passes laws, but in every team, and I'm going to say that this is a team, you need good leadership. And our governor has really shown great leadership, and he has stood up for the citizens in the state of Florida against federal overreach. He has stood up for our choice in things and just our freedom in general. And I think
American exceptionalism.
Yes. I think one of the things he's done is he's given the everyday person the ability to say, this is what I want, and he listens, because I think he's actually somebody that really cares.
Well, how will Jenna Haig, the winning candidate, bring value to the people that she represents?
So I take the word representative and state representative to heart, and my job is not to dictate anything to my constituents. It's to be the representative, and the only way to be the representative is with communication. So for me, I think one of the things that has been missing for a long time, especially in Broward, is that communication between elected officials and constituents. And that's one of the reasons that my website has my cell phone number on it. My business card is my cell phone, because I want to be accessible to people, that they can always feel like they can reach out and have a conversation with me, so that their voices are really being heard.
Wonderful. And I think we first met because you came out to the event that was for Anthony Sabatini. Is that correct?
I did, yes.
All right. So you have in your circle some good people.
I do.
You have, the governor, Manny Diaz, Anthony Sabatini. I mean, you're really getting in with the good circle. It wants to represent the people, the parents, and wants to make sure that the taxpayers get their best return on their investment.
Absolutely, yes. It's important. I'm very strong on my values, and it doesn't matter what the political landscape looks like, or what the media says, or any outside kind kind of influences. I know where I come from, and I know that I will always be standing up for parents and for citizens in Broward, and not just in my district, because at the end of the day, what I do affects all Floridians.
Right. Yes, it does. And they tell you that on the first day. They tell you when you hit this button, you're representing how many more thousands that are just in your district.
Yes. So, you know, it's so important, and that's a heavy weight to bear. So I'm going into it knowing that it's not just about my 120,000 voters, but it's really about the 22 million people in the state, because every vote cast affects every single person, and I think we've seen that through the last 2 years.
So you're not really here to represent a political party. You're here to represent the voters and the parents.
Yes, and you know, as I've been knocking doors, sometimes I get asked, what party are you affiliated with? And I'm not afraid to talk about my party affiliation, but I start the conversation with, let's first talk about my values and policies and things that I stand for, and then we can talk about the party, because I'm not running for the party. I'm running for the citizens, and I'm running to make sure that there is a voice from Broward County. And if we go back to our values, it doesn't matter what the party is.
Absolutely agree with you. But I will say this to you, that as the former chairman of one of the largest RECs in the state, as someone who sits on the national board of the RLC, and as a dad, I fully, and one more, as a teacher. So, as a former REC chairman, as someone who sits on the national board for the RLC, as a teacher, and a dad, I fully support and endorse Jenna Hayes.
Thank you.
So thank you for doing what you're doing.
Thank you so much. It means a lot to me.
You got one hell of a job ahead of you.
That I do. I do for sure. But, you know, nothing worth doing in life is easy. And so this is, you know, another one of those that it's hard work, but in the end, it's definitely worth it. And I want my kids to be able to look back and say, my mom did this to protect me, my future, and that they can do anything they set their mind to.
And if I get one more question in, because I know you got a lot of people here waiting to talk to you, something that I've noticed in the political arena, it's women that are stepping up to take on take this burden on of correcting the course that we're on.
Yes.
I don't know if you want to comment on that or not. It's just I've noticed that it's women that are willing to take on this fight.
It's funny, so like a few months ago, somebody called me a mama bear. And it's true though, because you know, it's a very strange time, I think, in our nation right now. And I think a lot of women are stepping up, and it's important because we have a different point of view on things, and it's time.
Yeah, you have a generational viewpoint.
We do, and it's time that we do stand up, and there's nothing wrong with being a strong woman. You know, I'm very blessed because I have the support of my family, and I have an amazing husband, and there's nothing taken away from him just because I'm a strong woman standing up.
And I'm going to say this to you. The people that are out there, they can write you a check if they have the money,
yes,
which is always great. If they can't write a check, they can host a party at their home in their neighborhood. If they can't host a party, they can make phone calls.
Yes.
If they can't make phone calls, they can write letters. But it's back to we the people have to be involved, and we have to work. So those that can write checks, write the checks. Can't write a check, host an event in the neighborhood. Can't host an event, knock on doors. Can't knock on doors, make phone calls. There's always something they can do to make sure that we the people are the ones that are back in charge.
Absolutely, and that goes back to being a representative of the people, because I can't do this alone. It really does take everybody to do this, because I'm only one person. But if I'm representing my district and people come out and they support and they help, and you know, my 11-year-old daughter was out knocking doors with me last weekend, and she loved it, and she got to talk to people, and it's probably my favorite part of campaigning is getting to meet people and talk to people. But it's a team effort. So in any way that anybody can support, like you said, writing a check, making phone calls, knocking doors, hosting an event, every single one of them are priceless to me.
Well, we can probably convince Teresa to host an event for you with one of these weekends coming up then.
I don't think you know, but I think she's already put it on your calendar.
Oh, okay. There you go. All right, Jenna Haig, is there anything else that I missed, or we should, if somebody wants to get a hold of you, is there a website or something?
So my website's very easy. It's just my name, jennahague.com, and it's JennaHague.com. And if you go there, you can sign up on my website. You can sign up to volunteer. You can also chat with me on there, and my cell phone number is there as well. So you can always give me a call if you want to have a chat.
And great idea to celebrate our military, honor them, and showcase American exceptionalism today.
My family comes every year to the air show. We love it, and so this year I just thought it would be great to do it with some friends and supporters.
Well, I like real people being involved in politics.
Me too.
So congratulations. Thank you for your time. I know everybody's waiting for you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jenna.